Welcome in, guys. This is brandinimojo with a live Divine Presents reading for you guys tonight. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you guys are avid tarot or oracle or, lightworker channel followers, guys, for all of this devil energy that has been popping up in the collective, we have some guided, channeled messages coming through today to actually get down to the nitty gritty of this devil energy and why it is popping up for the collective. Okay, why it's come up in some of my readings over the last couple of days. Started channeling this devil like energy the last 2 weeks. Okay, so there's a lot going on in the world, first of all. I have titled this special episode The Naked Truth of Illusions. And the truth of illusions, and we're going to break that down tonight and get into this message from the Lord of Light and Illusions, okay, and why this is here. It's a lot of energy going to be popping up for shadow work, okay, shadow work, and to trust your intuition, to trust your higher self, and to trust the lesson of the journey, this part of the journey that we are all on, okay? And so we're going to get into this here in just a second, but I'm going to start off with a couple of songs that I've channeled throughout the day. There are a couple of them. It's kind of, I don't know, my spirit guides are kind of comical, but anyway. The first song that I have is Supermassive Black Hole. If you guys don't know what that song is, it's by a band called The Muse, and it was featured on a film soundtrack from the Twilight series movies. Okay, so if you just listen to the lyrics of the songs that I'm about to mention off, okay, you guys are going to understand why they've been channeled out for these messages. So, I may go back and edit in the description box later. I will put the songs and the bands down for you to reference or whatever if you need to, or I can post it in the comments. But anyways, we have Supermassive Black Hole, The Muse. The first one that naturally came out was Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. Shout out to Motley Crue. I'm an 80s baby, so, got to get that 80s hair metal going on. But there was another one by Mushroom Head, and it's called Save Us. The last two songs were Come Undone by Duran Duran and I Put a Spell on You by Nina Simone. It is the Nina Simone version of the song I Put a Spell on You. A part of it is like, okay, just to touch on the song of Supermassive Black Hole, is it talks about how you can get lost within the sauce sometimes. The galaxy and everything that there is to know about the cosmos or you. It's kind of descriptive in the Muse video for Supermassive Black Hole. But anyway, Shout at the Devil, like, that's self-explanatory. Like, you done. I mean, this song needs no explanation as to why it was channeled. The deepest song I feel like to come out in these song channelings today was Save Us, because Save Us by Mushroom Head is a song that you can very, very deeply connect to on a level of intelligence. It kind of wakes you up a little bit, but just to kind of keep the time down on this video, like I didn't like go to writing down actual song lyrics, but again, yeah, I'm having a feeling from what my spirit guides are telling me is that as you start to, like, if you know music and you know music very well and you already know a majority of the lyrics to some of these songs, you know, because you've heard I Put a Spell on You like probably a million trillion times. If you've ever watched the movie Hocus Pocus or like on repeat, like as a child, you're going to know the lyrics to that song. If you've got CCR fans, like Creedence Clearwater Revival fans in your family, and you've grown up to listening to CCR, you're definitely going to know the lyrics to the song I Put a Spell on You. Come Undone was another song that came out because it's going to be a part of the collective energy tonight for the lovers, okay? For the transmutation of what the devil card means and how how we're as divine masculines and divine feminines transmuting through the energy of what we call the devil. Okay. There are going to be some reference points toward this devil energy, and if you think about the representations, if you want to go biblical or religious or whatever, if you want to go toward religious texts or whatever, if you just, in a nutshell, if you look at those things like as metaphors or what have you, and from what we learn, in school about uh, English, that it's kind of no, they redirected me towards Shakespeare. Okay, so if you read like a Shakespearean sonnet in iambic pentameter, it's kind of basically going through the literature of the words and discerning the truth from the illusion of what the words, the words are worded fancy and you don't quite know what they mean, but if you put certain things together, you begin to you put the pieces of the puzzle together. Okay, like there's only so so that was the metaphor that they gave me to describe that, or basically what it is in discerning truth from illusion, and talking about Lucifer, or Satan or the devil or whatever, being the morning star. I mean, if you look at the truth of the etymology of where these stories and mythology, you could actually call it mythology to that degree. um Not looking at it from a metaphysics standpoint, looking at the etymology of things. um Lucifer's name, meaning morning star, and what morning star means in different languages, is always about being the bringer of the light, the bringer of truth. Okay, the reason why the topic of this subject came up is because not only has it been coming out, the devil energy been coming out in some of the readings for the divine masculine and divine feminine collective right now that are going through these spiritual transitions and going through the heaviest of times right now. You're stepping into higher vibrations, so it's requiring us to shed perceptions of what we once were, or going through those energies of you know feeling trapped and bound by a specific codependency. And when I mean codependency, it could be a multitude of things. It could be a feeling stuck and bound to a relationship, or having the need to mend relationships could be another reason why this energy is coming up for the collective right now. So going into some numerology, okay, just to stop myself there because it's going to come out in the wash as I begin to pull cards and speak more on this topic. A lot of angel numbers came out for me within the last 12 hours synchronistically. And it does, in fact, pertain to the reading when I actually went to actually look up the meanings of the angel numbers. I got this new deck of cards in today from Tarot Mania, which is a shop on Etsy. I've been eyeballing Eugene's cards for fucking ever. And I finally broke down and got the Tarot of Magical Correspondence. And this card deck was printed with only 1,200 prints, meaning decks of cards. If you, in totality, this edition was only created with the number of 1,200, and this particular deck is of the card copy, deck number 1089. So 1089 was the number of this deck's creation. So I found that very, very significant, because the first card, as I shuffled and blessed this deck earlier, the card that came out was the Devil card. So this card has all of the magical correspondences displayed here. And this card is about renovating intelligence. Okay, so if you connect that back to what we perceive and know in theology about the devil, is about the fact that this was one smart angel, and he managed to create a scenario where he became sole ruler of Earth. Okay, and so, but in the card, toward the god reference of this card is the Egyptian war god Set. So this card has a very malicious feel to it with Set's energy here, because he was all about war and chaos. But at the same time, okay, we would have to go into the story of Set later. But anyway, I'll explain the symbologies and the meanings of this specific card here in just a minute. But the angel number 1089 relates to the field of relationships and hobbies. And it says that upon having crossed this number, it means that you've acted wisely, having opened your soul to the world and having ceased to demand visible and tangible benefits from it. So from now on, nothing will prevent you from doing only what your heart draws you to. So this card is also about turning to lost love or finding new love, and mending broken relationships. Okay, that can have been destroyed by some kind of codependency or toxicity. I wish that you guys could see this card, because this camera isn't doing it justice at all for the detail that is really locked inside of this card. But anyway, it's about this is about going through a lot of minor and some major disappointments in life, and being able to, on the chosen path, understand that even though you can find yourself in big trouble quite often, there's always in this indestructible force of nature balance that's going to be at work. It's going to be indefeasible. And that is the way that the law of balance actually works within nature. So to tap back into the energy of the devil, we all know that the devil is always portrayed as the master of illusions. And the greatest point in topic that is going to be important for us to understand at this particular time, and any time for that matter, is that this law of indestructible balance, with illusion comes the truth. And in illusions, it's always the person, the seeker, who is trying to seek the truth within the illusions. But what the devil is here to explain to us in a metaphor, or, you know, an archetypal energy, okay? If you'll, that's to be more specific. The devil energy is an archetypal energy, okay? No matter what kind of mythology that we draw the stories from, or what kind of people in history that the stories of these people have been handed down through story after story, through book that's been destroyed or recreated, or destroyed or recreated again. Like, okay, not to offend anyone, but the naked truth of the illusions about this energy and where we face it, not only within ourselves, but when we face it in the collective, it is to be understood that the balance within nature, it always is going to begin and end with ourselves. Okay? And the way that these cards are depicted in the tarot, you know, you have a certain stage from the card number 0 to the card number 21, which is the Fool to the World card. And all of those 21 cards are each one a representation of the Fool on his journey through life, into the end, or to the beginning, or through the beginnings and the ends of cycles. So you start out with the Fool being at 0, and you get to um, the Devil card, which is, I do believe, numerology in actual numbers. Holy crap. Anyway, there's so much to talk about. But anyway, like, there's so much that I could point out, card numbers and things like that. But anyway, you going back to the major point is that you have the Fool on his journey, and at some point you come to the lesson at hand of the devil and what that energy really means. What is it that you're really learning in this lesson? What is it that you're really tapping into? The laws of the universe at work to bring in balance. Okay. So taking everything that you may perceive as a certain kind of truth, the number 1 in the number 1089 or 1089, I guess it relates to the field of relationships and what your heart draws you to. So it's really about healing the distortions and coming to face with the things that we've denied about the truth. Okay. What I was trying to explain about, and where I was going with the Lucifer points, and, you know, his name meaning morning star and bringer of light. It's the bearer of truth and illusion. How to discern between truth and illusion. Okay, let me tell you how. This is a secret that I'm going to divulge to you guys. This is one of the secrets of being able to discern between the truth and illusions. You can't allow yourself, first of all, to enter a state of denial. And the reason why you can't allow yourself to enter a state of denial, no matter how this may come, is eventually the state of denial is what is going to make you feel trapped and bound to something. So this is really, in all actuality, the truth of this is it's about acceptance. It's about accepting the life's journey for everything that it is, and accepting it for everything that it is not. And this also means accepting that there is an indestructible balance between dark and light forces, and understanding that those dark and light forces have a duality and a binary effect within you as a whole, just as it would within the whole of the universe. Okay? So what the devil energy really is that medium plane of existence, which I would consider most oftentimes the actual 3D dimension, or what some would perceive as hell. Okay? Call it what you will, call it what you must. It's basically one and the same. Okay? I pulled this from the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck just to clarify that this is the original image that is usually depicted on the card, and for a specific reason. And this is because you have the divine masculine and the divine feminine chained and bound at the devil's feet. But in all actuality, we can't forget the representation of the names that are spoken upon this energy and what they mean. And it means illumination. Okay. We also signify that there is a part of us. Well, we are multidimensional, which means we are highly intuitive beings, because we are able to tap into multidimensional energies. And we're able to actually tap into the unconscious, which is the void. So we're able to pull in from any source, basically, if we channeled ourselves to be the right kind of, vessels for that, or to be the right kind of recipients for that kind of energy, and being able to channel it out. Okay. So the number 1 with 1089, it's about moving forward toward goals that will be more easily within reach, because these are the lessons, like, especially when you are, if you feel like you're being tested about, your ability to do things, your abilities within yourself. So passing those tests is just saying that it's stay on this steady course, because everything that we're doing at this particular time is leading us to help us hold steady through the lessons that are being brought upon us right now. Okay, so the number 8 is proof that actions are due to the will of heaven. So the actions that we're taking now are due to the will of heaven. And this is, like I said, this is really most deeply, you have to see past the illusions in order to get to the truth. Okay, so the illusions of this card is going to make you it's going to make it seem like this energy is ugly and ominous and it's the devil and you're trapped and blah 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 blah. And then you have this warlike presence within the self that can create disharmony and discord and etc., the destruction, chaos. Here in just a second I'll get into that card. But this is about having the ability to adequately assess the abilities that you have within your self-will to help you study the course lesson that you're experiencing right now. So the number 8 is also proof that your actions were due to the will of heaven, and acceptance is your well-deserved reward, and follow the destination, and the results that you'll get for following this destination will not disappoint you or upset you. Okay, so the number 555 also popped up for the collective, along with 111, which is another signification to the number 1, which is, moving toward goals really easily and swiftly, and having joy and happiness. revolving around the balance. So this is also about assessing the abilities that you have within your self-will, what it is that you will inflict your divine will upon in taking actions, okay, along with the lessons that are being presented toward you or for you right now. The number 9 means regretting time spent on faith in humanity. Serious changes which will make realize that they'll make us realize that starry-eyed idealism is not adequate substitute for practicality. It's also about reconsidering the views on life so that rapidly changing circumstances do not take you by surprise. So I would say that the number 1089 is definitely resonating hardcore with this energy that has been coming up for us in the collective energy. And it's funny because I just saw on the screen 26 minutes, or it was 25 minutes and 55 seconds. So as I'm talking about the number 555, which signifies great change, and this is coming about in the collective. We're also talking about discerning truth from illusions, which the truth is being put before us every single day, every waking minute of every single day. And the fact of the matter is that the illusions lie within our own self-denial about what we perceive is happening in the world and within ourselves and with other people while we want to get curious. So this is really this is why my spirit guides guided me to do this reading tonight, because it's targeting this energy specifically. Okay, because a lot of readers will get these cards and they'll chalk it up to, oh well, this is just about your person who's in a third party situation, etc., you know, talking about, oh well, they're having codependency issues or blah 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 blah. But nobody ever touches very deeply on the subject when the subject is being brought up for the collective to actually process and deal with. This okay, I'm just going to put it this way. All religion aside, guys, if you take just what we know about metaphysics and just apply it to the renovating intelligence that is being brought in upon you at this particular time, which usually when the devil comes in to teach us a lesson or to bring us illumination, usually the Tower of Destruction comes in after him. It's like that bringing down the house energy. We've already experienced the tower moment, but here the devil is coming up again for the collective to deal with and understand the magical correspondences of what is actually happening right now in this energy. How are you going to understand ever how the magician in the tarot deck actually works, and how you actually are this magician? You are this person that is described here. So another bust to the illusion of truth here, or the truth in the illusions, is that we are the ones that will wind up embodying this energy. And if you look at this as like a frame of mind, if you think about this whole entire card as just a simple frame of mind, and what is being depicted inside of your head is that inside of your head, you think that you have this devil that is standing over you and controlling you, and you singularly, okay, now wrap your brains around this, guys. Just because you see the lovers here, you see the masculine and the feminine, it does not mean that if you're looking at this from a self-related point of view, this aspect of yourself right here that is looking chained and bound, and even in your dreams, even in the shadow realm, this is how you deal with shadow work, okay? the shadow aspect of the self is going to portray itself to you as the devil. And this aspect of the self is going to portray to you as a split archetypal energy of a masculine and of a feminine. Okay? So these are all archetypal energies here at play within this energy that is coming in with Saturn. Why did they tell me that? Saturn, this energy that's coming in with Saturn. Capricorn rules over Saturn, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, we also have the energy of Aries. Yes, Capricorn. Capricorn, yes. Okay, anyway, where the fuck did that information come from? Anyway, I'm not just gonna, anyway, I'm just gonna, let's backtrack here. Okay, so if you look at this in a singular note, these are archetypal energies, and if you look at it in a singular perspective, if you're dealing with yourself, okay, this is what is happening in your own dynamic, in your own head, in your own frame of mind. That devil in your thoughts that is making this person, you, feeling trapped, stuck in illusions, is what it really is. That's the illusion, is that it's you. It's just you in a nutshell, making your decisions and exacting your free will upon this 3D plane of existence here, which could be labeled hell. Like, I don't know how the fuck you guys describe this existence here. Some people describe this existence here as one of hell. You know, like you've got to go through hell to get to heaven kind of shit. Anyway, but like I said, these are just perceptions, but if you take what you see in truth from the metaphors of what we have as far as pieces of the puzzle, guys, it's really like hard not to see that our own fuck up here is our own self-denial, our own denial period of the truth, which is being constantly illuminated upon us. It's kind of like, we'll just talk about the government for a second. You know, we all know that we're being lied to and what we're being lied to about, but it's the point of the matter is that we stay stuck in the karmic cycles of allowing it to happen, and what it is that we're truly being called upon to break free of. So changing the circumstances so that they don't take us by surprise. Like, oh, bam! All of a sudden, now they're going to take your freedom away and go through your phone and use their high-level intelligence to hack every conversation you've ever had. And if you are hiding COVID-19 or blah, 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 you'll be jerked out of your homes and thrown into a FEMA camp and blah, 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 blah. I mean, we can go really hardcore about what the fuck is really going on, but the point of the matter is to make this short and simple and honest and sweet, is in taking the sweetness with the sour, is understanding that we are being illuminated every single day about the truth. It's when we stand in our own self-denial of the truth is when the truth becomes an illusion, a mirage, something that you thought was fucking there, but really wasn't. So, in reference to some of you guys that are going through this in a lover sense, where you are being torn and ripped to shreds about this dependence that you have on a love that you have for another human being, and there are relationships that have been destroyed because of this connection with this human being, and you're having to go back in and do damage control to mend the relationships that were broken because this little devil on a whirlwind, this little Tasmanian devil just came in to your life and just ransacked your shit. Your proverbial shit, guys. We all know that sometimes when we're loving from a toxic place, our lovers can be quite toxic and destructive. And when we have to walk away from shit like that, or we have to cut ourselves free of the dependency upon it in order to live or survive or feel some type of way, that is about us busting through the illusions of that bullshit and saying that our integrity with the number 8 and the number 9 together, our integrity in nature is to truly understand people and to show indulgences to our weaknesses, but not let our weaknesses become everything that we indulge 24/7. Wrap your brain around that, guys. So anyway, the certificate of authenticity of the number 1089 is completely and utterly fucking legit, guys. I'm even mind blown here. So the truth and illusions about human denial is bringing in the light and just telling your self-denial to fuck off right now, because we cannot deny the truth. It is to that point where the bringer of light is saying, no more denying the truth. The spirit is saying, source is saying, ancestors, whatever, whoever the hell you're working with, guys, is saying, no, honey, I don't think the deceptions are working for you anymore. And it's time to understand that your own self is the only thing standing in your way. If you want the truth has been given to you. The truths have been given to you. Okay, so let's bring in the light. I have 3 different decks of cards here. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to pull 5 cards for what it is that we need to, what more is it that we need to face in this particular moment right now. We have the angel messages, influence of the angels, tarot. I have the Radiant Rider Waite, and I have the Halloween Oracles by Stacey DeMarco. We're going to get some clarification to that. We're going to see what just comes out. What more? We're going to touch on this starry-eyed idealism and shit that's about to, that's not an adequate substitute. We're going to touch on some different views, some different viewpoints here, and why more about this energy that is being brought up. So anyway, I'm going to move this shit out of the way. I'm going to start off with this card that we started off with, the one that popped out earlier, the Devil. I'm going to get you what this card means, because these cards are quite a bit different than any other cards I've ever seen or used in my life before, and they're really interesting. They house the Tree of Life into the messages, which is pretty interesting. I don't know much about the Kabbalah. I don't actually know much about the Kabbalah geometry, so I'm gonna learn right along with you guys. So a lot of this, the Sephiric. I see Thoth here, Seraphic system of divine names, divine meanings, Tree of Life. Anyway. We have sorry, things just got really quiet. I needed a moment to just clear my thoughts for a second. The general attribution of this card, the Hebrew meaning of An, is I. The mystic numbers of the Sephiroth, 351, and the Tree of Life path, 26. The path of Sephir Yetzirah, renovating intelligence. The queen scale of color is black. Complete practical attribution of Egyptian gods is set. Living beings, real and imaginary, are goat, ass, and oyster. So if you're in the energy of being an ass, guys, I'm just kidding there. Eat some oysters and calm the fuck down. I'm just kidding. Anyway, plants, real and imaginary, are the Indian hemp, the orchis root, thistle, yohimba. The precious stone for this card is the black diamond. The magical weapons, this is about secret force and the lamp that lights the way. This is about illumination, guys. So the vegetable drugs here, you have orchis, satyrion. And for some of you guys, if you're really heavy into occultism, you know what a lot of these things mean for healing or energies. The magical powers of this card is about the Witch of Sabbath, so-called the evil eye. So transcendental morality. This is about transcendental morality here. Okay. Suggestive correspondences from the Hebrew alphabet, the exalted phallus. The secret of generation is death. Title of the Tarot Trump. The Lord of the Gates of Matter. The Child of the Forces of Time. The 26th path is called the Renewing in Intelligence because the Holy God renews by all the changing things which are renewed by the creation of the world. Sefer Yetzirah. Okay, so this is Hebrew, obviously. But the path of Ayin connects to Tifereth, which is the center of the sun, consciousness, with Hod, the sphere of Mercury, and the intellect. The 26th path is formative, and in terms of structure of the self, it's an intellectual bridge between personality and individuality. So the devil card corresponds to the letter Ayin, and its symbol is the eye. You see the eye of... Okay, so it is the ability to see inherited by us from our remote ancestors, the greatest gift and the greatest curse at the same time, which is free will. Go figure, guys. Truth and illusion at the same time. Much more often, we either do not see at all or are not able to perceive what we see. The meaning of this card is about materiality. Why am I getting so tongue-tied when I'm trying to speak? Mercury, we're talking about Mercury. Anyway, the materiality of this card is about material forces, temptations, and obsessions. What is it that we are tempted to do when it comes to making our choices? Are we being tempted, or are we obsessing? Are we overcoming obstacles of obsession and temptation? So talking about the Lord of the Gates of Matter, when I said that being here on this material plane of existence, this is like the gate, the gateway to manifestations here, or balancing the planes of existence between heaven and earth, or between the outer realms of existence and the 3D world. So, yeah, okay. So when we're in a state of denial, we don't see the truth naturally. When we're in a state of denial, we're not seeing the truth. That is plain as day, plain as Jane, right in front of you, right in front of us. The sun, and it's funny because you have the sun underneath in illuminations. It's being illuminated to you. We have Ra collecting intelligence. Okay, so I'm going to leave that out, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle 4 more cards. We're going to get into this reading more. and why it's what are we dealing with? What are we transmuting? The Six of Cups, the Princess of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Princess of Cups. And actually, I think it's Princess of Cups and then the King of Wands. Yes, 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 it is. Okay, so we're going to go through these cards one at a time. Underneath this, okay, this, I just cannot make this fucking shit up, guys. Underneath the deck, you have the Seven of Swords, which is all about self-deception and deception. This is about occult or hidden knowledge, hidden truths. Holy shit. And then to trump that, you have the vision of beauty. The vision of beauty is triumphant. All right, okay. That's crazy. That is so crazy. I'm just going to start out with the overall energy here. Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords. The Swords cards is about, I don't know how you say this. It's Netzach. Netzach. The general attribution is about victory. Mystic numbers of the Sephiroth. 28. 28. Okay. This is about occult or hidden intelligence. The king scale color of amber. Sorry. Complete practical attribution. The Egyptian gods Hathor. Living beings, real and imaginary. The inks, the raven, and all carrion birds. Plants, real and imaginary, is about rose and laurel. Precious stones, emerald. Magic weapons, the lamp and the girdle. Second time you have a mention of a lamp. Illumination, light. Cannabis, indica, are the vegetable drugs. Damiana, whatever that is. I've never even heard of it. Anilonium. The magical powers of this card, the vision of the beauty of beauty triumphant, is about unselfishness, being unselfish. Okay, so with the meaning of the card here, the titles and the attributions is about unstable efforts and futility. The elements and senses are about air and smell here. The attribution of the pentagram is the left upper point, which is air. This card meaning is about partial success, love for abundance and fascination, propensity for compliments. Okay, so this is about having a love for and a fascination for attention, for needing attention, being fascinated with somebody for the way that they look, or being fascinated. Going underneath that, you have the Three of Wands, is about making choices and going toward grass that looks greener on the other side, and it may give you the illusion that it's pretty and it's beautiful, but it's also full of chaos and destruction and everything that will try to destroy you from the inside out. And naturally, it's when you're faced with these kind of energies of selfishness, these are the kind of people that you wind up attracting into your life, or these are the kinds of behaviors that you wind up exuding from a toxic sense, and it causes destruction, and it's self-sabotaging, so this is about busting through the illusions of that self-sabotaging behavior and having integrity in nature, and understanding, that even though we do have the nature to be self-indulgent, we also have the nature to discipline ourselves and understand that there's a bigger picture of why we go through these things and why we have to release things, why things need to be released, why things need to be well balanced. Because there's nothing saying that you can't, you can't have certain things that you want, but going after them in a way where you're lowering your integrity, is not the way to, it's not going to bring you that mutual, it's not going to bring you that mutual satisfaction that you feel like you're going to get whenever you're receiving from an energy of gratitude and selflessness. Because when you're receiving from an energy of gratitude and selflessness, the people in your life begin to change and shift around, or the way that you're receiving things in the world shifts, because your perceptions shift, your energy shifts. Okay, so this is about being able to see through the hidden intelligence in why that self-deception, it needs to be faced instead of sitting in the energy of self-denial. And it was funny because there was another song that I should have written down, and it's by Pantelis. Everybody knows it. It's called Cleopatra, the Queen of Denial. They called Cleopatra the Queen of the Nile. Well, Pantelis called her the Queen of Denial because she denies that her boyfriend's, not out doing certain things that he shouldn't be doing, but he's doing shit behind her back that's, she's just sitting there trying to make up these different lies to herself to tell herself that he's not being a douchebag. I'm just saying. Proof is in the pudding. I get that expression from fried green tomatoes. The secret's in the sauce, guys. The secret's in the sauce. That is the best chili in the whole entire motherfucking world. But what those motherfucking people don't understand is they're eating a human being. And the people that killed him wind up getting off. Like, they wind up, it was self-defense. It was self-defense, Your Honor. Anyway, human enlightenment is a motherfucker, guys. I'm just going to tell you right now, human enlightenment, nobody said that we would not suffer to get to some point of enlightenment either. Buddha knew the struggle. Our Lord Jesus Christ knew the struggle. And Muhammad, I mean, poor Muhammad even knew the damn struggle. The Jews knew the damn struggle in World War II. Rest in peace for all of you guys that have family members that were lost during the Holocaust. We're in a remembrance that, so many years ago today, World War II ended basically with Pearl Harbor. A lot of shit. Like, that was a very shitty age to be closing out on, but when I was talking about repeated cycles of change, we have the number 55 here. I'm seeing it twice. 55, 351. Three, 21, 26, and 28 are significant numbers right now for you guys. 6. See, 2 6s. 616. That was another number. 616 was another number that came out earlier. But anyway, so the left upper point for this 7 of Swords card is Aquarian energy. The sign of Aquarius. Aquarius energy can be kind of deceptive as well. It's not really necessarily the deception that can be the trouble. It's about trying to bring the truth to light, which is I feel another reason why that lamp is there. I also see the symbolism of the rose here, and every time I see a red rose, we all know red roses are about remembrance. So for some of you, you guys, your sense of smell may be heightened quite a bit more at this particular time, because this is how you're downloading information through your sense of smell. Okay, so for the first card that really came out for us here to start off, why this devil energy is here. This is about collecting intelligence, and the red tincture is the power of acquiring wealth. Okay, so this is learning how to manifest wealth in the 3D world without allowing your lower vibrational energies to create blockages for you guys, in that understanding that you are the vessel of manifestation. You're the vessel of which manifestations must flow through here on this plane of existence. It's extremely important for you guys to understand that this is a part of your human design chart. It's what you're here to do. Everybody has their roles to play, but the sun energy is truly about illumination and gathering information, gathering knowledge. At this point in time, this energy is also very, very extremely masculine. The sun is about things coming to a head, the truth. This is about your crown chakra opening. Hebrew meaning is about head. This card, they call this part Resh. The mystic numbers of the Sephiroth is 465. The Tree of Life path, number 30. Paths of the Sefer Yetzirah, the collecting intelligence, is the queen scale colored of the gold yellow color. Complete practical attribution of the Egyptian gods, which is Ra. Ra is the god of creation. Complete practical living beings, real and imaginary, the lion, the hawk, and the leopard. These are all hunters as well as very intelligent and very well thought out organizers, leaders. So the plants here that would be depicted as real and imaginary are sunflower, the heliotrope, nut, and precious stones would be chrysolith. The magical weapons here are the layman or bow and arrow, which is your intentions, guys. If you think about it, from like I said, a lot of these things that will come out in magical correspondences, not only through your own intelligence and things that you guys are constantly downloading in archetypal energy and representations of true energy. Everything in the physical world is a representation of some kind of energy. Okay, so they definitely want to illuminate that for you guys here. This is the magical power of the red tincture, the power of acquiring wealth. The transcendental morality of this card is about pride. The suggestive correspondences from the Hebrew alphabet. This is about the twins shining forth and playing. The fighting of Set and Osiris. In the sun is the secret of the spirit. The title of the Tarot trump, the Lord of the Fire of the World. The 30th path is the collective intelligence, and astrologers deduce from it the judgment of stars and celestial signs. Perfect their science according to the rules and the motion of the stars. The path of Resh is an active path on the intellectual formative side. The symbol of the letter Resh is head. In case the head is a multivalent symbol, the face is associated with recognition and understanding and certainty. Just like facial expressions help us understand our interlocutor's mood, which would be the people around you. This is how you read expressions. The state of the sun and its spots and radiation intensely help us comprehend what is ahead for us in the near future. This is about glory, wealth, and the removal of arrogance. Okay, so arrogance, when they talk about arrogance, I'm just going to assume that they mean the removal of the ego, guys, which is your fear. A lot of your fear-based self is your ego self, your shadow self. Your shadow self is going to be very fear-based. And so that is the dual nature of the side of light. Okay, you know where the side of light comes in, illumination, etc. But and you have, just as the sun comes up, the moon does too. This is about that indestructible balance of nature that I was talking about. So, moving on to the Six of Cups here, we have the correspondence of intelligence of the mediating influence, which is what is mediating right now. This is what we're mediating through at this particular time, and this is energies of the past. So the vision of the harmony of things. We want to see harmony in nature. We want to see harmony come into our lives. And so I also see a phoenix here depicted at the bottom of the card. Children. There are children depicted here. I'm getting that there's also taste associated with this card. So this is also touching on the fact that we have our extraordinary senses are through every one of the senses that we actually have. And this stems from more than just our intuitive sense. We also pick up, not only, we have memories that are associated to sound, to taste, and to smells. So that's also another thing. Certain smells and tastes may be coming up in your memories today. Card number 21 also. Okay, so this is a Tiphareth. The general attribution is the Hebrew meaning of beauty. The numbers of the Sephiro is 21. The tree of life is number 4. The fourth plane, which is the middle pillar, the paths of the Sefer Yetzirah, is the intelligence of the mediating influence. The king scale of the color is the clear pink rose. And the complete practical attribution of Egyptian gods is Ra. Again, you have another Ra card. And here he's reborn as Phoenix, which is another kind of energy. Ra is broken up into 3. Ra has 3 different facets to him. He has the morning facet. And Ra, okay, so to understand some of these God energies is to understand they're multifaceted beings just like we are. We are multifaceted beings just like they are. Okay. So just to simplify that, they didn't want me to go very deep in that. That maybe for another video. But we have the living beings, real and imaginary, are the phoenix, the lion, the child, and the spider, and the pelican, or pelica. That's why I've been seeing pelicans lately. Anyway, acacia is a tree, a plant. Bay leaves, laurel, vine, oak, gorse, ash, and aswata are the plants for this card in association to this energy. Wait. Okay, so you have alcohol as well as a vegetable drug. Stramonium. I don't know what stramonium is, guys. Some of these things I might actually have to start learning. Plants. This is the magical weapon of this card is the layman or rosy cross. The magical powers of this card is the vision of the harmony of things and the beautiful vision, which the transcendental morality of this card is devotion to great work. So being devoted to great works, and I feel like what they're trying to convey to us is that the greatest work is yourself. The Princess of Swords may actually clarify that. as truth. You have another card that is going to relate to the sense of smell. We have 2 cards here that would relate to the sense of smell and 2 cards that relate to the sense of taste. So the 6 of Cups here, again, the titles and attributions to this card is about pleasure. And the elements and senses are about water and taste. And the right upper point of the star, this is water energy. This is about mending corals and taking pleasure in memories or having pleasure, period, in your life, going into an energy of moving toward things that are pleasurable to you. This is also about memories of the past and feeling nostalgia, but this is also a 6, so it's about having steady success within your emotions. Whatever it is, or whatever it is that you're feeling, having some success. So if you guys are feeling a little bit nostalgic over situations that you feel like you need to mend because of a toxic situation from the past, then it's a good time to mend those relationships that you feel are most important to you at this particular time. And allowing yourself the heart space to actually do so, allowing yourself to take the action to do so. So, with the Princess of Swords, the Princess cards are about the elements and senses. This is about earth and touch. Attribution of the pentagram is the left lower point. So, this is about earth and fire. And this is about the resplendent intelligence, the vision of the holy guardian angel of Adonai. The holy guardian angel of Adonai. This is the princess of the shining flame. This is earth of fire attributes. Oh, wait, no. I'll take that back. My bad. Wrong. I am wrong. Wait, where did it go? The Princess of Swords is the earth of air. The titles and attributions of this card: the Princess of the Rushing Winds, the Lotus of the Palace of Air. This is about wisdom and might, acuteness, refinement in material affairs, and grace and dexterity. So this is how you guys are going to be able to overcome that energy of self-sabotage or self-denial or self-deception, in what you need to look for, being discerning. What is discerning truth from illusion? Okay, so instead of regretting the time that you guys spent on having faith in humanity, this is where that card title attributes to that particular phrase, about generosity and kindness, and having the wisdom and the might and the acuteness to refine in your material affairs. So getting more refined in what it is that you are perceiving and what you're perceiving as reality and illusion. Okay, so this is about having grace and dexterity through your intellect, through your intelligence, and your ability to gain intellect. So we also have the Princess of Cups, which will signify earth and touch as well. The Princess of Cups is the earth of water. You have the vision of the holy guardian angel of Adonai. We have another guardian angel of Adonai here. And this is about another Malkuth energy. Wow. So the Princess of Cups, you have the Princess of the Waters, the Rose of the Palace of the Floods. This is about charm, poetry, tenderness, kindness, good imagination, dreaminess, or indolence. Okay, so this is about being able to see through the dreamy things in life. This is I am also seeing the Sphinx twice here, which is also giving me the indication, like when you deal with the Sphinx energy, if you know anything about the Sphinx in mythology, they are the riddle masters of the universe. And if they ask you a question and you don't answer it, they are said to be able to have the magical abilities to devour you. Or destroy you, either way, if you don't answer their riddles correctly, they have the power to destroy you. So it's when you're dealing with the Sphinx energy, you're pretty much saying that the truth is within you, and you have to use your own discernment to give the right answer to the question. Or, it's basically being able to rise to the occasion of the lesson that divine presents before you. It's that energy of change. Seeing the number 55 there just signifies so much change that's going to be happening right now. And the changes that we realize that idealism isn't adequate to substitute for practicality. That's reconsidering all of our views on life. This is where we're at with the Princess of Cups energy and the Princess of Page, or the Princess of Swords energy. You have wisdom and might with acuteness, and grace, learning grace and dexterity, and having also charm, tenderness, and kindness, and having an imagination. Stepping into your imagination, we can kind of get our imagination. Okay, so my spirit guides, what they're trying to say is sometimes our dreams can get away with us. Sometimes, so our imagination can get away with us. Sometimes this is about getting grounded with the truth of what it is that we're needing to not deny anymore. Like what it is that we're not denying anymore about ourselves or the truth of things. And going back to that energy of, or going back to the topic of allowing ourselves to be disillusioned by certain things, like going after a job title because you can make 6 figures a year, but is that really going to make you fucking happy at the end of the day? Or going after a man or a woman just because of their looks, when on the other, they may be, perfect and flawless on the outside, but on the inside, these people could be empty and dark, and there could be nothingness there. Or, you could go after a certain person just based on their looks, or have a certain idea of what you think should transpire, when you're not seeing past the illusions, and you're not paying attention to all the red flags that were there in the first place, telling you along the journey while you're having, doings with toxic people, and everything about you on the inside is screaming, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, I'm so freaking miserable. But everything that you're seeing on the outside is, well, I'm going to go ahead and torture myself some more because this person, they have bomb sex, or, they have the bomb diggity, or whatever. And this person may be bomb diggity on the outside, or bomb diggity in certain aspects of things, but on the inside, it's basically what you're fucking looking at, and what this energy and what these cards are trying to tell us here through this message is that sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side, guys. And just because you might land a person that's like model status, or this person's got the sexiest abs or the sexiest ass, or whatever it is that you're looking at, it's like what you're seeing is a complete and utter mirage compared to the reality of the situation. It's kind of like when the person, you're looking through a lot of different mirrored aspects of a multi-dimensional being here, and what you're just focusing on is the fucking outer shell, and you're not focusing on what's going on the inside of there, what's being brewed and created and distributed out into the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where the illusions of the truth actually, where self-denial becomes that point of turn, where truth turns into illusions very quickly. That energy of self-denial, like I'm saying, a person can can be hot as hell on the outside, but on the inside they could be completely evil. They could do evil things. Like you do one thing to piss them off. If they're insecure, you're battling these toxicities of codependencies because these people don't love themselves. They're selfish, and they don't move from a place of high level integrity and self-worth. So they're going to put you through the fucking ringer. And this is how you know that you need to go within and transmute that energy, because this is how you're going to know that you're attracting these energies within the law of attraction, is when you start facing these energies to yourself. This is where the inner healing really works. This is where the shadow work really, really begins. There are a lot of often times where, I've fallen in love with a person because, they had a sexy smile, or they had sexy abs, or because I just thought they were sexy in general. But I'll tell you what, all that glitters is not gold, guys. That's that energy of all that glitters is not gold. So anyway, our imagination sure can get the fuck away from us, though. I'll tell you that right now. And some people, when they throw on the charm with the Princess of Cups, when they throw on the charm, it's kind of hard to resist a charm of something. If you like the way certain drugs make you feel, this could also be another one of those things, another one of those scenarios. If you like the way certain drugs make you feel, if you like the way certain people make you feel, but they're fucking toxic for you, that's that energy of, they're turning on the charm, and your imaginations can get really wild with you. But this is about getting grounded. This is about seeing through the truth. This is about seeing the truth in the illusions and removing that fucking mask of self-denial. So anyway, you have King of Wands energy, which is let me find it. Kings. The kings are about elements and senses. Fire and sight. To attribution of the pentagram is the lower right point. Here, eyes. The King of Wands is the fire of fire. Lightning, swift, violence of onset, which is why we have that set energy there. War and violence. Chaos and destruction. The Lord of the Flame and the Lightning, the King of the Spirits of Fire. This is about energetic, generous impulsiveness, boisterous behavior, or being active. So, this vision of the God, this is the vision of God face to face. This energy right here. And then this is about illuminating intelligence. So, in a double whammy fashion, you have the sun coming in along with the King of Wands. With the power of acquiring wealth and face-to-face God interaction. And then you have collecting intelligence and then illuminating. You have collecting intelligence, and then you have illuminating upon intelligence. So it's being illuminated really, really heavily right now. Let's see. King of Wands. I also see turquoise here. Another lamp burning, but this is about the chokma energy. Okay. King of Wands. I'm gonna have to learn. Like, this is some seriously deep shit. Seriously deep shit. Huh. Okay, so the scale of color, we have a lot of different chakra energies. We've got the earthing energy, which was coming out. The earth chakra energy, which is underneath our feet. Are a lot of us have got solar plexus energy, along with root chakra, sacral chakra, and third eye chakra energy, very, very prominent at this particular time. So anyway, let me get a message from the angels to clarify the Seven of Swords energy. What's being transmuted within the remembrance, the occult of hidden, until what is hidden from the collective right now? What is it that is really a topic of focus for the collective that they're hiding from themselves? And that's gonna be how I'm gonna word it. What is it that the collective is hiding from themselves in this self-deceptive energy, spirit? What are they hiding from themselves in this self-deceptive energy? The Emperor. I think what it is that we're hiding from ourselves in this self-deceptive energy right now is our own ability to create. The Emperor card signifies energy of ruling over your own empire, basically. Ruling the self, governing the self, being in your own sovereignty. Or even acknowledging yourself as a sovereign being within the universe with the abilities to create. This is the energy of the Archangel Metatron. And it is said that this is the highest ranking angel in heaven, second only to God in strength and wisdom. On the card, Metatron poses as an earthly ruler. So his scepter indicates that the person over it, or watching this reading, it indicates that you have dominion over others or someone in charge. So it means that you're a leader of some sort, or you're meant to be. This is your spiritual path. The orb with the key in the card is held by Metatron, and this object symbolizes the responsibility of authority. It's reminiscent of the globus cruciger, which is an orb with a cross on top, often held by monarchs in historical portraits. The globus cruciger is the Christian symbol for Christ's dominion over the world. And the orb shown here is a key on top instead of a cross. The key represents power. Shown on Metatron's chest as a part of his garment, the ram alludes to Aries, which is a symbol of masculinity, and I really strongly associate Aries to the god Set, which is depicted in the Devil card here for the messages of magical correspondence. This is about supreme authority. He who wears the crown is the ruler. So this is about making decisions and being in charge, having logical rules and guidelines, and maintaining structure and giving order to situations. The shadow meaning to this card, and I'm going to read it for you guys, is about hyper-rationality, tyranny and domination and oppression. So this is about overcoming the oppression of oneself. Okay? The angelic message is, may you always have faith in your decisions without ignoring ideas that are contrary to your own. Although you may be used to calling the shots, always try to keep an open heart and an open mind when it comes to the choices that you will make in life. Having integrity. Where do you understand people, and how are you revealing yourself to the world, basically? Are you calling the shots in your own life? That's another question to be asking yourselves right now, guys. Are you calling the shots in your own life at this particular time, or is someone else having dominion over you? Or are you allowing your ego to have dominion over you? So it's pretty crazy. Anyway, let's get some clarification to the sun. So this is about having that illumination of knowing that you're powerful enough to have dominion over your own destiny. That is basically in a nutshell what the fuck that means. You're the devil doesn't do shit to you. You do it. And so this is where self-judgment really comes in. And then underneath that, to clarify, you have the strength card here. So for the sun, we have the judgment card, which is the collecting intelligence that you're gaining right now is judgment. And what this card means here, and the angel that represents it, let me get to this card, judgment. Okay, thank you, Bubba. It's before the tower. Or after the tower, hold on. No? It's before. There, wait. Wow, okay. This card doesn't want to reveal itself. Why is that? That could be that self-denial energy there. It's fighting. That's what it's fighting. It's judgment. The self-denial energy is fighting judgment. It doesn't want to face judgment. It doesn't want to face acceptance or the possibility thereof acceptance. Wow, guys. These cards are really, really speaking to me tonight. So this is the Archangel Zachariel, which is the four angels. The four angels that are shown on the card is about, this is Zachariel, whose name means remembrance of God, helps us recall memories, both good and bad. So this is also why you have the Six of Cups energy. This is what we're transmuting here. Recalling good and bad memories. The angel of purification is one of these angels. Let's see. The four angels represent the judgment process, which is honest self-evaluation, forgiveness and absolution, redemption and freedom from the weight of sin and transformation. So this is what is being illuminated, guys. So a lot of this energy is also going on in the collective. So if what you're seeing in the collective going on with the news in the world, and if you feel like certain things are happening, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing judgment taking place, and you're seeing the divine actually moving through the collective right now for these evaluations. This is about honest self-evaluations, forgiveness and absolutions, and finding redemption. The redemption allows the woman to be transformed, and this is shown as the angels guide her to heaven. Tahariel is the angel of purification. She helps us clear away the negative energies. Kalapitiran, the angel of liberation, helps us become free of the prisons, the psychological, spiritual, intellectual, and creative that we have found ourselves in. Valuel is the angel of peace and provides us with a sense of tranquility and contentment. So again, redemption allows the angels to guide this woman to heaven. So she's trying to find redemption. So this is about finding redemption in some of those connections that were lost, that were lost needlessly. On the bottom right of the card, the stones fall away from the woman as she rises up to the air. So as the stones fall, it makes her lighter and lighter. These stones are dead weight from the past, and they represent sins left unforgiven, things left unforgiven, wounds that never healed. shame that was held onto and never released. The woman has carried this baggage around for many years and is now finally able to let go and leave it behind. So the woman's head in the upper left corner, which is up here, she's looking at herself. Here, I'm sorry. Here, she's looking at herself. She's talking to her higher self. And this is about having a reckoning with your past. Shown in the center of the card, she has a healthy color and a halo above her head. So this transcendence is healthy for her, and her redemption and her transformation are showing themselves to her here. So this is about having a reckoning with the past and especially unresolved issues. This is about resolving those issues and making the judgment to do that, completely letting go of inner conflict, pain, or dissonance. This is about forgiveness and being absolved of sin, cleansed, and unburdened. And forgiveness is not forced, it is earned. It is given freely through grace and mercy. So having the inner freedom to move on through this transformation. Okay, so what can be blocking your energy here is too much self-evaluation, over-involvement, or dependence on self-help programs or therapy, or dependencies on other things. If you say, well, I'm just going to drink myself into oblivion because it helps me sleep at night. That's a crutch, saying let go of that shit. If you carry the hurt of the painful past experiences, it says, may you summon the courage to face them and acknowledge the truth about them and let them go. So this is what we're collecting. We've already collected the intelligence to do this. So this is about not being trapped and bound and stuck here in this energy. So what are we coming in to clarify for the Six of Cups? What are we bringing to light in this what are we bringing to light in the remembrance, in the resurrection of the past? Having faith. Oh shit, death and rebirth. Hold on. Okay, so we have the Fool card to clarify judgment here, and then we have death and the Three of Cups. So it's about remembering the happy times, resurrecting the happy times, and remembering the ups and downs as well. It's the overall energy of the Five of Pentacles. So this is in remembrance of the not so happy times, the times where the five of Pentacles being it's about spiritual bankruptcy, and it comes from treating people as things. It's financial hardships or lacks of downgrade or money or residential situations hitting rock bottom, general misfortunes and difficulties. So this was the difficulty that they had talked about in the past, where they said that returning to lost love or new loves or mending relationships, if you're faced with any of these different scenarios in your life right now and you're afraid to move toward them, this is what is being called to clear out in this energy. What's being called for you to accept and release and understand that this was the trouble that was presented before you on your chosen path, because these were part of the lessons of transmutation for you. It's about using material standards to judge the worth or worthiness of a person. This is what I was talking about whenever you guys have made decisions to go after something just because it looked sparkly to you, or going after a love interest because they looked like a certain way, or they looked like a certain type on the outside, but you have no idea that these people were going to leave your personal ethics compromised because of hardships and stress and toxicity. So this is about releasing that shit and kind of like saying, like, the Nine of Pentacles, it's time to release yourself with the Nine of Pentacles here and be free of it, because the Nine of Pentacles, this is a solitary person who has financial freedom and independence, and a person who is grounded and stable. But this is what you're being called to release, which is mourning the past, or mourning decisions that you made because you went toward a person that this person looked like damn Danica Patrick on stilettos, and you had to go for this hot fucking bad girl chick, and she broke your fucking heart in 1,000 pieces. Or it's kind of like same thing for feminines. You guys go after these fucking bad boys, and these people who refuse to value their own self-worth. But these people have, I don't know, you're going after somebody for their looks. That's not right. It's what's on the inside that matters. You guys are mourning over, you guys are mourning over material shit that you had some kind of material illusion about, is what it is. And this is about you coming back into your solidarity and your own independence and breaking free of that shit. And it's kind of like she has this bird of prey in her hand, and it looks like a falcon or a hawk of some kind. It's like falcon hunting. This chick is getting hers, man. Anyway, that's like the illusion. Is that you guys need to get back to your solidarity. You guys need to get back to your solidarity and your comforts of yourself. Being able to come out of that shit. Okay, so the rebirthing process for the Fool here. Find hope and comforting in the resources that are available to you. So that's also like the angelic message for the Five of Pentacles card, which is underneath the overall energy. So you have the Fool, which is also about the Archangel Aphriel is saying that it encourages you to experience new things and embrace new ideas and have confidence about what's on the horizon. So Aphriel comes to earth from heaven, arriving before the day begins. And this is to suggest a new start. Okay, so this could be about having a new start in love as well. And you guys needing to trust your hearts to guide you toward love and happiness and joy. This is for some of you guys that might have fallen for, the angel that was actually the devil in disguise. And now you're having to pick up the pieces in shambles, but there may be somebody else in you guys' energy that it may be worth the effort, and you guys just aren't fucking seeing it because you guys are stuck in this ass energy. And I say this ass energy because that is the ass animal of that card. Crazy shit, guys. Crazy shit. Anyway, this is about conveying the idea that many experiences are to be had. You need to have many experiences in order to get to the goodness, of what it all really means, and celebrating it. Okay, so we have a lot of death energy in the air. There are a lot of people experiencing loss right now, and I do mean in the physical. A lot of people are experiencing their loved ones passing on. But in a retrospect of yourself, this is where you guys are walking around feeling like deathless death because this girl or this boy or this dude just done put your ass through the ringer, and you want to love again, and you've actually manifested into your life, and so now you've got a couple of different people hollering at you, and try to get all up in your energy, and you're having a hard time discerning which one is the right one and which one is the illusion, which one is the truth and which one is the illusion, which one is your destiny and which one was put on your path to to teach you lessons. You know what I'm saying? So for some of you guys that might be in the energy of battling between your choices. You know, battling your choices. This is about having a clean slate, making sure that your energy is clean. It also wants you to remember that with the Fool here, you have infinite possibilities for new beginnings, for endings, and they also want you guys to know that if you guys are suffering any kind of loss right now, whether it's relationships or loved ones, um, God doesn't take anything from you that he won't replace and give it to you better. And I know that there are certain people in this world that when we lose them, they can never be replaced. And that's not what Spirit is saying. Spirit's not saying that this energy must be replaced by something else. It's just saying that God doesn't close doors without opening others for you. And that means in every single aspect of your life. You guys might have a soul tribe family out there, while you're losing, you know, I'll just say for me, like I lost my mom 3 years ago, but at the same time, in reference to losing my mother, I am blessed to have other older women figures in my life that are like mother figures to me. And so in a sense, they're kind of like soul mothers to me. And I'm grateful for still having those connections to the older generations of the feminines around me. That's brought me much, much comfort over the last 4 years since losing my mother. So that's just saying that, nothing, no person, no energy can ever be replaced, but the energy is constantly ever flowing. So while the masks of faces change, the unconditional law of love still remains the same. And so if you're allowing yourself to be an open vessel and an open conduit to love, guys, which is what this reading is really deeply about, it's about knowing that union is coming into synchronicity perfectly with you. So, if you guys are trying to heal from a relationship that didn't work out, it's not saying that you can't unconditionally love that person or celebrate the fact that you had many good times with these people. And sometimes it's saying that some of these people that you guys had fallings out with, whatever toxicity in your lives that you guys were going through at the particular time, it wasn't worth having the falling out over. So a lot of you guys need to be mending relationships, but there are some of you guys that may be watching this video where you need to actually release yourselves from those energies. So it's about that death and rebirthing process it's about this transformation that you guys are going through some of your family connections, or through some of your there's some of your intimate connections as well. Some of you guys are needing to release toxic people, but some of you guys are needing to heal certain relationships because of toxic people. So that's going to go both ways right now in this energy. So with the Three of Cups, this is about having new beginnings and coming into celebrations. And not only that, for some of you guys that are mourning loss, this is about you guys remembering the good times. This is about you guys celebrating life instead of letting the energy of death kill you too, while you're still having to literally live. You know what I'm saying? This is not saying that you've got to not mourn or that you shouldn't be in a mourning energy, but this is about celebrating and honoring a person's life. If you've lost someone, it's about honoring their life and the life that you had with them on a good note. And it's about you not carrying guilt and all of these energies that will keep you lost and stuck and stagnant. This is about you being able to release those things and allow yourself to move forward in the healing and celebrating life, because you're still living and it's still in you to celebrate life. And even when you lose someone, it's still about celebrating the memories of goodness of the life that they were here spending with you. Okay, so even if it's people that you guys need to release, and these people are still living, it's like you're going through a breakup and you truly tried and true do need to release a person. It's about celebrating the good times that you had with them and being able to release them with that energy of unconditional love into the universe and saying, like, I set you free. I wish you the best. And I hope that, in spite of whatever happened, allow yourself to be able to release that energy. If anything, do it for yourself. You don't have to do it for somebody else. It's about allowing yourself that aptitude to grow from the loss. And when something dies, allowing that new beginning to come in through the lessons of what you're learning, and what you're putting to rest at that particular time. And death can be, figurative or metaphorical. It's either way, however this may resonate for you guys in your particular situations. So coming out for the Princess of Swords, we also have the Page of Pentacles, which is about grounding out in new beginnings. This is about gaining knowledge and applying it to the 3D world. This could also be about marriage and union. It's coming in for resplendent intelligence. This is about those transformation energies. This is about spiritual transformation of knowledge. The Knight of Cups, Page of Cups, no, Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles message is about apprenticeships, learning skills, making plans, and engaging with it, ongoing developments. So this is what you are. You're an ongoing development. A stage and another stage of evolution here for you. The shadow meaning of the card is always planning but never ready to launch, being perpetual students and not ever entering the real world. The angelic message for this card is may your tinkerings develop into wonderful inventions. So this is about there can be things that you're dabbling with. If you're trying to dabble in love, or you're trying to dabble in money, or manifestation, new businesses, etc. This is about wholeheartedly doing it, not half-assed doing it. And the Knight of Cups is just another clarification to that, because the Knight of Cups is kind of a serious, but not so serious, kind of playful energy. It's embodied, and this is where you have to be confident in establishing of oneself in the world. You can't just play with it. And it's also about idealizing love within romanticisms and willingness to feel and show deep emotion with others. This is about honoring and fully accepting one's emotions, both positive and negative. And if you're in the shadow side of things, this is about being over emotional, over emotive, temperamental, and moody. So this is things that you may need to release. This is from you not embracing your feelings. This is about needing, the angelic message of this card is about needing to embrace your feelings with passion and gusto and take care that they don't overwhelm you. So this is what you're needing to clear out if you're feeling quite overwhelmed at this point in time. Embrace your feelings. Embrace your feelings. So if you guys are fighting, and this is a message specifically for those of you guys that are fighting love, and there's somebody that you have this connection with, and you may have ditched this person to go back after this toxic ass person that put your ass through the ringer, and then you left this other person on the side going, what the hell? Okay, so for some of you guys that are truly feeling this person and you're coming out of this other shit, and you're like, okay, well, why am I feeling all of these good vibes toward this person? Or even at times, you're probably thinking, well, I'm with my person, so why am I thinking about them? Well, it may turn out that you guys might not have, you guys most definitely were probably meant to be with that person anyway. But if you guys are sitting here contemplating love energies with a person that might have been caught up in this dynamic here, even if they knew it or whether you knew it or they knew it, I have a feeling they don't know, but you do. Whoever's watching this video. Anyway, this is a message for you guys, is to take a leap of faith toward the person that you might have ditched, thinking that, the grass is going to be greener on the other side, You never know. And if you guys have an opportunity to reconcile a situation like that, this is what you guys are being divinely called to do. To reconcile that situation, if you have, especially if you have deep love for this person, and you don't know why. I mean, you might have avoided them in the past because they didn't have a certain look for you. They might not have been, looking perfect. Like, I don't know. You might have had the mindset to want to be with somebody that has the body of a model, but maybe your person's a little thick and curvy. I'm not saying, fat and ugly. I'm just saying a little different than what's outside of your normal go-to. And sometimes, this is why they say that opposites attract bullshit. Because they literally do. And so for some of us that'll wonder why we got our heart broken a multitude of times, it's probably because we were going after the mirage of a motherfucker. Mirages are a motherfucker. Sorry, I apologize for the profanity. Excuse me. So anyway, what do we got for the clarification of the Princess of Cups? The Seven of Swords. There you damn have it. Twice. Seven of Swords. Coming out. And then you have the burden of self-deception. There you have it. That is what is blocking this Page of Cups energy, which is, let me see, Princess of Cups. Which is charm. This is like what's putting on the charm. That's the self-deceptive bullshit. Having good imaginations, guys. Our imaginations will really run the fuck away from us, but then it'll cause us a hefty burden in the long run. Let's see, seven of fucking, damn, excuse me. Pardon me again. Seven of Swords. I can't stand this. So the wolf eats a sheep just as he is attacked. Damn, you see that wolf in the background just eating shit? Anyway, oh, behold, I send you out as a sheep amongst the wolves. Okay. Anyway, dial it back, spirit guides. The wolf represents the immoral instinct. There's nothing wrong with killing livestock from wolf's point of view. He wanted to do it, so he did. The man is a shepherd running away from the scene behind him. He has failed to protect his flock with one animal dead and the rest abandoned and in danger. This represents shameful behavior. This represents irresponsibility and running away from the scene of a crime. The sheep crook laying on the ground is the shepherd's tool. It symbolizes the abdication of responsibility. Carried by the hand, which are the sword and daggers. Carried by hand, backpack, and belt sheath. These 7 blades represent mental excuses and rationalizations for abandoning the duties. Okay, so going after that pretty hot chick on the beach, while you're walking, you're walking down the beach, and instead of getting to your destination, which would be to the Baywatch Tower, guys, instead you get distracted on your way to the Baywatch Tower to go get fucking life support for your best friend who's probably laying somewhere needing a fucking inhaler because he forgot his shit at home, and y'all get distracted on your way to the fucking Bay Tower because you see a hot chick in a thong laying there trying to get some sun, and bam, So that's what I'm talking about. Just getting sidetracked from the shit that you're supposed to be doing. The Seven of Blades represent mental excuses and abandoning duties, making rationalizations. The Four of Swords at the man's backpack appear to be stabbing him in the back, so even though he thinks he's getting away with something, he's still harming himself with excuses and lies. Another possibility is that this man has stolen the swords, in which case they would represent stolen ideas, writing or hacked information. Angels taking the forms of clouds are disturbed by the scene below. They represent moral authority and personal conscience. Self-deception, rationalizing bad behavior, thinking you're getting away with something, sneaking off, irresponsibilities and running away, theft, plagiarism, and hacked information. Man, the shadow meaning of this card is believing that someone is too weak or bad to be anything but a terrible, corrupt person. This could be, that's just an example. That's just including oneself, too. Taking responsibility for one's own bad behavior toward growth and becoming a good person. So these could be people also that are standing in the way of that for you. Once a person leaves a bad situation or the scene of a crime, he can reflect on his role in the sequence of events and learn from it. Valuable lessons can be taken from negative circumstances. So, if you think you're getting away with something now, watch out. It may come back to haunt you. It may come back to bite you in the ass. And there's that wolf back there waiting to bite you in the ass, too. If you have overburdened yourself with your actions, guys. And this is, I'm not even going to go into the meaning of this card because I already know what the fuck it means. It means that you've already overburdened yourself with the actions of self-deception. Okay, so this is where we have busting through the illusions, the naked truth. So let's get some clarification to the King of Wands here. Let's get some clarification to the King of Wands. What's coming out for the King of Wands energy? So what is it that is illuminating in intelligence right now with the King of Wands? Spirit, what is illuminating right now in the intelligence of the collective right now for this King of Wands energy? Oh, there we have the fucking Seven of Cups. Holy shit, this is the mask. This is about facing obstacles. Whatever it is that is being presented in front of you now, it is now being given to you as a divine test of faith. Which lesson will you choose? Clarification to the Seven of Cups is yes. What are you going to choose? In retrospection. And what are you in retrospection? Damn it, the Hermit. Underneath that, Page of Wands. So, you have the Seven of Cups, which represents challenges and responsibility, personal development. Holy shit, guys, what did I say? Having a variety of choices and having the opportunity to choose, envisioning the possibilities of potential and plans for the future, daydreaming and creative thinking. Now, the shadow meaning of the Seven of Cups is about lack of focus, unquiet minds, wishful and delusional thinking, fooling oneself, unrealistic and impractical or unrealized plans, being carried away by the fantasy. That's what the fuck I'm talking about there when it comes to people and being caught up in that energy of illusion and knowing the truth. And that's where you getting stuck in the illusions of your own self-denial about specific people around you. This is about not ignoring the simple energies of being carried away by your fantasies of a person, romanticizing shit with a person when there's no romance there. So it's about, this angelic message is about overcoming inabilities to choose and overcoming procrastination. This is about healthy illusions, providing hope and motivation, especially during transitional periods. Unhealthy illusions are misleading thoughts that lead to bad decisions that can harm both yourself and others. Oh, there it is. And then to follow that message, you have the Ten of Swords, which is quit stabbing your damn self in the back, guys. Quit stabbing yourself in the back. like you're handing these people the swords to stab you. So you're basically stabbing yourself in the back, guys. So stop it. The direct meaning of this card is the end of a situation, the lines of inquiry and hitting brick walls or arguments. No more can be said, done, or investigated. Any more would be overkill. This shit has played itself out and it can't go any further. It is over. And for those situations that truly are over and you've been knowing for the longest time that they are over, but you just kept going back over and over and over and over and over and over again to get burnt, this is why you guys are repeating that cycle of having to clear this energy out again. So it cannot go any further. Acknowledge that it is an ending and absorb the information and move on. This is about receiving terrible and grievous news and becoming devastated by it. There is nowhere to go now but up. Things have changed and it will never be the same as it was before. We know this. But the point of the angels are telling you that you can greatly harm yourself with negative or self-sabotaging thoughts, and this harm is often worse than the attack by someone else or what has happened. So what you can do to yourself in the process of these things are going to by far be so much more worse. And this is what this means. This is that energy of set, destruction, chaos, overkill. And I mean overkill. You think killing your brother, cutting his fucking heart out and dismembering his whole entire body and scattering his fucking arms and legs in his head to the four corners of the fucking universe wasn't enough for that angry God to come in and create disharmony and discord for so many, you know, and that's just a mythological story. But this is like, where do you balance myths from actual, where do you find the truth in the actual myths? And what I can tell you is that the truths are to be found. The truths are right there within the myths. And that's what I mean by the truth is in the illusions, guys. This is what we gain when we go into introspection and when we free ourselves from that energy of self-denial, once we allow ourselves to release that shit with the Page of Wands. Okay. So yes, this is what is coming up for us right now. This is specifically why this devil energy is here and what it really fucking means in the naked truth of things. Man. So to get a final message here, I'm going to use the Oracles of the Halloween Oracles by Stacey DeMarco. I don't feel like we really need any more clarification for the other cards because I think everything else I've discussed, I feel like I was very thorough in touching on those points there. So I'm just going to get three cards. Number one, Exploring Wildness. 2 is Black Cat. You have a werewolf, the Black Cat. Fortune meets opportunity. Oh, an eternal love. Love is love and transcendent by physical death. So for those of you guys that have lost a loved one recently, this is about their love transcending through time and space, guys. And they'll always, this is a message from your loved ones from the other side saying that they will always eternally love you. And it will, their love for you, these are family members, their love for you will always transcend throughout time and space. So that is a message that your loved ones want you to know right now. For those of you that have not experienced physical loss and death lately, this is also about being in the energy for all of us to rejoice in the present moment. Rejoicing in the present moments of the celebration of life that we can obtain through every breath that we take. You know, no matter what it is that we are struggling no matter what it is that we are going through in the face of obstacles and adversity, guys, is the fact that we have a very beautiful opportunity to hit the reset button every second, or every thought that we have. We have the energy to reset. um the overall message being with joy is rejoicing in the, rejoicing. Damn it. It's just about rejoicing in the moment and being in gratitude for those people that we have around us, that bring us joy. So if you're spending time with people and you're fucking guilting yourself about it, if you're guilting yourself about spending time around certain people that bring you joy, and you might not have this mindset that this person, or that these people, are right for you in other aspects of the world, it's telling you not to overthink that shit right now. You're overthinking shit. If you're in the energy of transmutation, and what it is that you're letting go of, and what is it in this devil devil world of illusions that you're suffering through right now, releasing your images of what you think should be is what is most important right now. What you think should be and what should be is two different things. So sometimes your perceptions and your imaginations can run wild with you guys. But anyways, this is besides the hoo-hoo of a not so scary trick-or-treating Halloween evening, okay? The most common sounds that you'll hear are laughter. So there's so much joy that can be had if we allow it into our lives. If we lead busy lives, whether we are studying or running a household or having demanding jobs or all of them at once, it seems there's little time for us to stop and be present and enjoy exactly where it is and where we are at this time. And so it's been said that the first step of real change is stopping and acknowledging that we really need change. And while sometimes we might feel that there's little to feel happy about and much to change, we can always feel grateful for something right now. And there is the power in that position, and where you need to take your power back, guys. So it's been said that if we can feel grateful for something right now, then we can find the joy in the moments that find us in joy more often. And should this card come up in divination, it's heralding an arrival of more happiness and profound joy in life. That is a good omen. So this is where I was talking about the indestructible balance of nature. Whenever after, of following destruction and chaos, that we might have, experiences of disappointments. This is about following the results that will not disappoint. So happiness coming in with that balance of there. So not all, when you find out that not all that glitters is gold, you kind of humble yourself and get back to love and nature, and you start to find your way again. So after all you build in the appointments, why not build for your own pleasure? Okay, so the werewolf is about luminosity triggering. Wild moon rises, pain and blood and fangs, fur and howling and wolf and guises. Okay, so after painful, excruciating struggle against change, man releases to the magic. Howling unrestrained under a full moon, now the half man, half wolf rises up, snarling, and goes looking for blood. Yes, we all know the power of the werewolf. After the end of the European witch trials, an intense interest in the werewolf developed in folklore and evolved to become the stuff of horrors and fantasy stories. Fairly consistently since then, the wolf manor lichen has featured regularly in tales, both oral and written. Of course, during the last 100 years, there have been many hugely popular movies. So the werewolf is kind of like a shapeshifter, but one that has traditionally had little control over his wildness. And this is about the vitality of strength and freedom from the animal versus the reason, the control, and the intellect of man. Which one, though, is the dominant force? What is the healthy balance between our animal nature and one that is wild and free? and connected to nature, a radically civilized humanness separate from or dominant over nature. The werewolf asks us to consider this balance and to delve into our own ideas of wildness, independence, and custodianship on the planet. And when is the last time you spent all day outside? When was the last time you threw your head back and howled at the moon? Do you squash the vitality and curiosity of your body and mind by sitting all day in front of computers, telephones, I don't know, video games? The werewolf challenges you to weave balance into your nature and to your own. So, fortune meeting opportunity. I just feel like that's just another clarification that divine timing, it plays an important role of it in everything, always. Seeing the black cat and lantern-eyed crosses your path, it's good luck and fortune. In traditional folklore, cats were said to have had one foot in the world and one in the next. They were conduit between the underworld and this world, and fortunes and opportunities. So I'm also being told to tell you that cats are also messengers of spirit as well. Black is associated with the darker aspect of supernatural, while cats were in the Middle Ages being hunted, said to be allies of evil entities, which is not true, guys. I'll just have to tell you that right now. So the unchecked level of increased evil is the rat. Eradicating evil with cats is what started the plague, guys. That's how none of the rats died and all of the rats brought in the plague, because people were killing cats during the Middle Ages. So there were a seriously outnumbered misfortune rats to cats. So anyway, usually when you do see a black cat cross your path, it is about the fact that you can look at it with a lot of bad luck and misfortune, but honestly, it means that actual good luck and fortune will sweep by with a kiss, okay? That's what it really means. Black cats are usually always warnings that you need to watch your step as well. Watch the steps of integrity that you're taking toward the world, because a black cat, if he crosses your path, is just warning you that, you might not be onto something you may not have good intentions set forth out into the world, and it could be a series of, if you feel like it's misfortune, well, then it's just your karma. It's not the cat's damn fault that he had across the street. I'm just saying. So anyway, should the slinky black cat cross your path through this oracle, know that good luck and fortune will be meeting you, and also know that your luck will be even luckier if you're prepared to take the advantage of every special opportunity that comes your way, which is also taking the special advantage of having knowledge over what is and what will be, guys. So the final message is really about eternal love. In all aspects of reality, this is about you coming into loving union with yourself and the understanding of the truth in illusions and how you can remove that self-deceptive energy. Acknowledging acceptance is the best word for it. Acceptance is really needed. Acceptance. So anyway, eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends, physical death. When the body leaves us and our souls are above, our possessions no longer, and nothing remains but the intertwining of love. All of us that are product of millennia of love, our parents, our ancestors by blood and ritual have all in some way created the DNA that weaves throughout our bodies. Love, in fact, powers life and death. When most of us encounter death in our lives, we experience grieving too, and in some ways, that feeling could be described as an absence of love and the absence of that person or being. But the kind of love that is also often shared between family members, friends, and lovers, separated only by physical death, is the kind that poets wax lyrical about. That is truly eternal and transcends death. Should you choose this card, you're being reminded that the love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is more powerful than death itself. Love lingers. It leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for an inspiring of a partner, it is also indicating that a significant love is close at hand and to be ready to open up to this new experience. So this is about you guys not fighting what you like. This is about you guys not fighting it. Okay? So this is about to get you, if you really felt like you were, if you've ever felt like you were bounded and stuck and trapped in a love that was just ripping your fucking heart out to no end and you knew that it was toxic and not worth it, they're saying that is that a lot of you guys have the opportunity to have what it is that you were seeking in the first place. It just wasn't where you thought that it should have been. Sometimes it's about you guys just understanding that you really think that you're going to meet someone and fall in love and, you know, things are going to be, you're going to be head over heels in love with this person and everything's going to work out just perfectly and you're going to have this beautiful fucking romanticized life. A lot of us have to go through multiple partners to find the right one. A lot of us have to go and deep dive within the self and truly heal and transmute whatever lessons it is that we have learned in order to heal ourselves and then come into union with that union energy, and then we're able to manifest the love of our lives. And sometimes we got to go through hell and high water to get there. It's just like in business. You start a business and you've got to prepare for the ups and downs. You've got to prepare for, the mishaps and the slight failures, that help teach you lessons to help you get it right for the energy of success, guys. It's kind of like that expression from the movie Friday, where Craig's dad is telling him, sometimes you win some, son, and sometimes you lose some, but sometimes you win. You live to fight another day. When he's talking about, how to use his hands in a fight instead of going after a person with guns. It's kind of like, well, if you really want to win in the world, use your energy of intellect and mind to, learn from the battle strategy of the victory, or from the battles that were, that made you feel defeated. That's where you learn the greatest lessons in battle strategy. You have to get your ass kicked on the battlefield from time to time in order to become a better warrior. And no great warrior ever became a great warrior just from standing on the sidelines, watching shit go down and trying to avoid sticking his, feet in the mud to get dirty. A motherfucker's got to get dirty. A motherfucker, has to fight and get down on his hands and knees and be brought down to that place of, rock bottom in order to climb back up again. And sometimes that's how we feel when we lose people that we love too. Whether we actually lose them to, death itself, or, just a proverbial ending where, something's all good, all is fair in love and war, and some things must come to an end. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of like, that's where things will differ for you guys as far as how this reading is going to resonate for you, and how you're going to take the messages of it. But I have a feeling, I'm feeling like I'm serving my purpose to spirit today by channeling this message that was so very heavily coming through. I just really felt like I needed to get very clarified on this devil energy and why the fuck is it popping up in our tarot readings, guys? Why is it popping up in our tarot readings, and why do we have to once again in the cycle face this devil energy? And this is but this is what is being brought to the surface right now to deal with, like, all these different topics of going after all the things that glitter that aren't gold, and filling ourselves full of a bunch of self-illusions, thinking that there are certain things that we want, but in fact what we really needed was right in front of us, and we just never saw it because we were looking at the wrong motherfucking things. But this is about getting our shit together and seeing that we have the things that we need and want and desire right in fucking front of us, but they may not have the package that we're expecting, you know? But that's what's supposed to be fun about presents and gifts from the universe, is that when you're gifted something from someone else, you don't know what the fuck's in the package until you fucking open it, until you explore it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to explore. You have to be in the part of the energy transmutation where you're fighting your fears to move toward love, or moving toward a partner that might not be your ideal partner, but that's the one that Spirit's guiding you to. It's kind of saying that Spirit's saying don't get beggy and choosy. Don't beggars can't be choosers, is what they're saying. It's like, and that's not saying that you're a beggar and that you have to beg for somebody's attention. But I'm just saying, like, metaphorically, guys, if the universe gives you a fucking gift, it's not your place to say, oh, well, I want it in the specific package wrapping. And I don't like that present. Take it back, you know? Well, fuck, if you either want to be gifted or you fucking don't. You either want to be open to receiving gifts or you fucking don't. Because if you're not open to receiving gifts, you're just going to wind up empty motherfucking handed. So anyway, guys, I feel like this has been a very thorough message from my spirit guides to yours. So I just want to pull one final card from. I just want to pull one final card from this deck to get a final message. How to end this read. So what are we going to end this reading on, Spirit? Let me get a magical message of correspondence for the end of this reading. What is your final message to us, Spirit, and how to battle these illusions of the truth and self-denial? Final cards. No, not cards. I said a card. 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. This is about having a vision of the machinery of the universe and pure or clear intelligence. Intelligence of the House of Influence is moving toward. Underneath the deck, you have the House of Intelligence and Influence, the Chariot. And again, you have more Sphinx energy here. Crab, Cancer. Okay, so, but anyway, the final message is with the 9 of Cups, guys. So, the 9s. The 9s are the general attribution of the Tarot, which is Yesod. This is about foundation. So, your foundations. The Tree of Life, path 6, which is the plane in the middle pillar. The path of the Sefer Yetzirah, which is pure, clear intelligence. The King scale of color is indigo. Complete practical attributions of the Egyptian god's Shu. Living beings, real in imagery, was the elephant, the toad, and the tortoise. The plants of real and imaginary, banyan, mandrake, damiana, ginseng, and yohimba, which is the stones for this card, are quartz. The magical weapons of this card is perfumes and sandals and the altar. Magical powers of the 9. The 9s are the vision machinery of the universe. Independence is the morality of the card. Okay, so the 9 of Cups signifies material happiness, the elements of water and senses, water and taste, attaining absolute joy and happiness to self-glorification, vanity, and self-importance. Okay, so the vanity side of things, don't be vain. That's just straight up a message. Don't be vain. If you seek a relationship out of vanity, you best assured that it's going to end in toxic destruction. This is not being satisfied with small and humble plans. So this is, That's in the shadow aspect of not being grateful for what it is that God is preventing, for what spirit and the divine are actually presenting towards you and for you at this time. This is about you guys being gifted by divine and you guys totally ignoring the gifts of divine for things that you think are, that you think are better, but in reality, they're really not. It's just a fucking illusion of what you think is better. But what you don't know is that spirit knows best for you a majority of the time. When you're in alignment with spirit in those notions, you're not going to be feeling guilty and shameful about it. You're not going to be rehashing the energy of like guilting yourself to death of, for how the fuck you should feel. So if you're having to go through that energy of, and you don't have that energy of clear intelligence in the situation, it's saying that it's something that you need to surrender within your renovating intelligence. There's something within your mind frame that needs to be renovated. Okay? And that's no offense to you guys, but you guys want to get unstuck and get out of this fucking energy, then this is where we've got to go. This is the movement that we have to take, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to close out this reading with a message from the universe has your back. It's funny because I opened up the deck. I haven't used this deck in quite a while. The first card out is I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. So anyway, we're going to pull one message. We're going to get a shuffle. Final message from Spirit, guys. Final message from the universe on how to transmute this energy of illusions to the truth. So, okay, we got two cards for you guys. The first one, I always trust in the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. The second one is my capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words that I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion that I need when it's time to forgive, and the power that I need when I'm lost. So I hope this message helps you guys get found. This has been a message from Brandini at Tribal Awakening Ministry. I want to wish you guys love and light until my next read. Stay tuned to my channel. If you guys would like to book a personal reading with me, you can hook up with me on Instagram through brandinimojo, through the handle brandinimojo13, or you can find me on Facebook, Brandy Die, crazygirl.com. Like, I don't fucking know. Anyway, you guys, if you want to book personal readings with me, there's a link in the description below, a list of my services, prices, etc. I will have new Reiki services added to the list to the roster of services that I will be offering. The Reiki services will be offered very soon, so I will be updating a lot of the information, the description box in these readings. So anyway, with that being said, if you guys want to book a personal reading with me or enlist me for my services or inquire about my services, you guys can always send me a message to pearlofthesea13@gmail.com. I want to thank you guys for subscribing and tuning in. It's your likes, your subscribes, and your support that helps keep my channel going and keeps my channel thriving. And I want to thank all of the new subscribers coming into my channel. Much, much love and gratitude to you guys. So with that being said, love, light, peace, love, and chicken grease, etc. Until next time, brandinimojo out.
Your dinner's cold.